We all know that Daredevil is coming back on Disney Plus as Daredevil Born Again. There were a lot of concerns about this because Netflix was the darker corner of the MCU. They got into R-rated territory. By bringing it to Disney Plus, are we going to Disneyfy it? But recently, we've seen a big creative overhaul that might bode well. So here's the recap. At first, Marvel announced an 18-episode Daredevil Born Again series was likely going to be split into 2 halves, 9 episodes, then a break, then another 9. They filmed 6 episodes, then you had the big WGA SGA strike. Well, we have some time to kill, so some Marvel executives thought, maybe we should, what if we watch some of that stuff they've been shooting over on that new Daredevil show? So they watched the show, and then they thought, this show is bad. It's episodic, it's not serialized. Daredevil himself doesn't show up until episode 4. He doesn't wear the costume for the first 3 or 4 episodes. And it's a very different, lighter tone than Netflix. And that's a problem because people liked Netflix. So why are we changing it? So they went back to the drawing board. They fired the head writers, Corman and Ord, and they fired the directors of all the remaining episodes. They brought on Dario Scartapane, who wrote for The Punisher show. He's been hired on as the showrunner. They also hired Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who directed episodes on Moon Knight and Loki Season 2. They're going to direct the rest of the episodes. We got a new direction. It's more serialized, it's darker, and it's got more direct connections with the Netflix series. And then we just got some more news. Last week, we found out that Foggy and Karen are coming back. I mean, it's a mind-blowing idea. People like the show. What if we brought back the characters from the show that people liked and we continued the stories that people liked? And this week, we found out that Bullseye is coming back. For some reason, Adam, you'll be able to relate to this. When we were doing Saulcast, talking about Better Call Saul every week, they would just tell you way too much information. Like, is Walter White going to show up? Let's just say it would be a damn shame if he didn't show up in 3 episodes for 5 minutes in these particular scenes and in this exact context. They think they're being sly, but they're giving stuff away. Do I need to know that Bullseye is going to be in 3 specific episodes? And that was at the top of the article. Can't we just let it play out? Punisher's going to be in it. We've known that for a while. That's not really new, but I thought it was worth mentioning. If we're trying to be optimistic here, let's look at the stuff that indicates the show could be good. The other thing that's coming out is we have no idea how many episodes this is going to be. They said 18. Now that's fluctuating. I imagine a big part of the reason why it's likely shrinking is that 18 episodes is easy if it's episodic. But if you're telling a serialized story, those are typically done in 6 to 10 episodes. So they're probably stripping out a lot of lawyer of the week type storylines and getting it focused, which I think is a good thing. But here's my question. There's 2 possible explanations for what's happening here. The box office of the MCU is going down. It's been happening with all the movies lately. So clearly Marvel's trying to course correct. We see it with Captain America 4 delayed. We saw it with Echo to an extent, the way they released it all at once and just tried to sort of rip the Band-Aid off so people stopped talking about it. Daredevil's delayed. They're doing all these reshoots. So clearly they're trying to course correct. But there's 2 ways to course correct. One way is let's go down the checklist. What do people want? It's like what me and Daniel are doing with the live streams. I'm asking people, what do you want to see on the stream? And we'll do it. We will be your dancing monkeys. That's one possibility. People want Foggy and Karen back. Bring them back. People were mad that Bullseye's not going to be in it. Bring Bullseye back. Okay, we'll do it all. The other possibility is they hired people who have a passion for the source material and they said, go make a good show. The problem is that in this situation, either possibility looks the same because it's a no-brainer. Why start from scratch? People loved the original series. Season 2 is a little rough. Season 3, it kind of refound its footing. Why not just carry that stuff over? A creative person with a passion for the source material, which now includes the comics and the original Netflix series, would probably make the same decisions they're making right now. But the other possibility is that they are just, it's coming on down from the Marvel executives. We're going to try and please everybody. So do these things. It's hard to tell. So I'm going to remain hopeful. Obviously, I want to like this stuff. I'm not like Adam, where he just wants to complain about all these movies and looks forward to them failing. I was not celebrating when the Marvels didn't do well. Not at all. Of course not. Why would I? I was hoping Echo would be good. I liked when they announced that they're doing the Marvel Spotlight banner, because what I want is more creative freedom. And there's a fear of deviating from the brand of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All the movies are family-friendly action comedies. You don't want to deviate from that. But if you create a secondary brand, Marvel Spotlight, then people will be more comfortable stepping away from that. The problem is it came off as a very reactionary thing. Like Echo, I don't think that the executives were very happy with what they saw. So they were like, why don't you call it Marvel Spotlight? You know, confuse everybody. They're going to think it's like a Sony movie or something. And it won't tarnish the MCU brand. But now they're saying Daredevil might fall under the same umbrella, and hopefully they use it to their advantage. Keep the dark tone, make it separate from everything else. Same universe, but we don't need cameos unless they're organic. Cameos are fun. I want a bunch of cameos, but just not distracting. So let's hope for the best.